Let's move on then to the next episode of Kayla Knows Nothing, where we... Thank you. Where we walk through every episode of Game of Thrones, episode by episode, with Kayla Knierim, who hasn't seen the show before and is seeing this for the first time. I think we should have some theme music for this, so here we go. Good.
Garm doesn't know it. That was good, Dan.
Thank you. We'll try that. We should have something.
We
Definitely
should.
have a theme.
That would be fun.
Today we watched a special one. This was Hardhome, the 8th episode of season 5. I chose to do this one as a oneer because it's a pretty important one.
Am I in season 5 or 4?
5.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah, right? I mean, we're coming up. We get to wrap this thing up.
We do.
Before season 7 gets here.
It's farther along than I thought we were.
Oh, yeah. I mean, if we had just been going one-on-one, we would have had plenty of time. But this is season 5, episode 8. It's a pretty big one. Big action one.
Big action.
What jumped out at you from this one, Kayla? Hardhome.
Where do you want to start?
Let's start... Okay, let's say Hardhome from the end. Let's start in Meereen.
Okay.
Where Daenerys reunites with Jorah, meets Tyrion for the first time, really.
Yep.
And the first thing they do is they're in her little chamber. She talks to them, and she makes the decision to send Jorah away again.
Again.
I got 2 questions for you. Why does she do it, and is it a good idea?
I don't think it's a good idea, and I think she does it out of pride. And she thinks because she said that she goes, "How will the people trust me if I don't keep to my word?"
Right.
So I think she's just doing it to do it, but I think deep down she knows she shouldn't.
Okay, I'm totally on board with that.
And Tyrion even brought it to her attention that, had he
did.
not been there, she'd probably been dead long ago.
Oh yeah, but he also said, Tyrion pointed that out. He said that, he has saved me, he saved you, he definitely is devoted to you, but you can't, if you take over the 7 kingdoms, you can't have him by your side.
Yes.
Why did he say that, do you think?
Because then people will know she went against her own word.
I think so, yeah. He's like...
And that doesn't set a good example.
It's the idea is like she's campaigning, and he's like campaign poison. He's like the scandal she had or something, and it's not good PR to have him near her.
Right.
Is the idea, but she didn't kill him. At least
no, just let him go.
Sent him away. So it did happen, and I guess Tyrion wouldn't be overly fond of him. He was kidnapped by Jorah. Let's remember that. Although they seem to get along more or less as the thing went on.
Didn't he say he's the only person he really trusts? Or was he talking about Varys?
He was talking about Varys,
Oh, okay.
And where does Jorah go after that?
He goes to the man who bought him.
Yeah, he goes back to the fighting pits.
And he said that he wants to fight again.
Yeah, in front of Daenerys, because the reason she was at the little fighting pit was they're going to have a big, giant gladiator.
He wants to fight for her.
Fight for her, yes, fight in front of her.
True sign of love.
He just wants to be near her. Is it creepy? Frankly, this guy is really, really, really head over heels.
Talk about a
for
stage
Daenerys.
5 clinger.
I like that. Stage 5 clinger. That's what Jorah is.
But it's endearing.
Fair enough. If it's endearing, it works. That works for me.
He's not like...
He's also dying with the
right.
bit.
I forgot about that.
He's got a lot of problems, this guy.
He does.
His life.
But Daenerys ain't one.
Daenerys is the main one.
Not in his eyes.
Not in his eyes. He's the only thing worth living for. Later, Daenerys and Tyrion have a kind of one-on-one conversation. How did that go? Like, what's your impression of these two together?
She already knows he's a drunk. Because she said that she wants to talk to him while he can still finish his sentences.
I mean, he downed 3 glasses of wine during their talk. I wish I had right now.
He said that they can relate to each other. They both come from similar backgrounds. They need to join forces. She wants to use him as an advisor.
Right. Why would he be good in that capacity?
Because he is royalty in his own right.
He is a powerful family member. But the big thing is, remember, she has been here her entire life. She wants to rule Westeros.
So he'll get her there.
I mean, he'll get her there. I mean, she could get there. She'll just get ships and an army. She's never lived there. She doesn't know it.
So he'll show her the ropes.
Yeah, he'll show her around. He can introduce her to people. He knows people.
Tyrion the tour guide.
More or less. Or Tyrion, he's the guy who has the hookups.
Okay.
He knows people. He knows Jon Snow, who's powerful up in the north.
True.
He knows Sansa, who is now in the north too. He knows Littlefinger. He knows the Tyrells.
Yep.
He knows Cersei and Jaime. He hates them, but he knows them.
Good person to know.
Yeah, he has connections. That's what he can kind of bring to the table for Daenerys, who doesn't really know the land that she wants to rule.
I like them together.
They did seem to. I like
I'm
that
glad
scene.
they're joining forces.
Yeah, they seem to have a good rapport, which I was nervous about because they're two kind of big characters in the show, and I was afraid they would kind of go fan service with it and just make it kind of a cheesy moment. But I thought it came off like people having a real conversation, and I liked that.
Good. I'm glad you were pleased.
I was pleased. That last bit, Daenerys said she's going to break the wheel when she gets
Oh
back
yeah.
to Westeros.
She's not going to stop it. She's going to break it.
Yeah. What do you mean by that?
She's going to rule.
She's going to rule.
She's going to take down everyone.
She's not going to take no for an answer. I think you're about right. And we'll have to see how that goes forward in the next time. But I think they make a good team, those two. Anyway, going over to King's Landing. So we're in Marine. We go over to King's Landing. How's Cersei holding up?
Not well.
She's been put in jail.
She needs a
by the
shower.
hospital. Oh my God, she needs a shower.
She's cranky, and she's stubborn. They want her to confess, and she won't.
To what do they want her to confess?
Of her sins? I'm
I
not
mean,
really
yes,
sure.
but like which sins? She's had a lot of.
Incest?
Yeah. Qyburn, her kind of creepy mad scientist assistant helper guy, said she's being charged with, incest, fornication, and killing King Robert.
So that's a lot.
Especially the killing King Robert part. That's kind of the big bit.
Right. And she won't do it. She said, I'm not going to confess to someone that I brought to life. Like, I made him who he is, and he's a commoner, and I will not bow before him and confess my sins. So she's left to rot in her prison cell.
Right, while they pound her with a spoon and dump water on the floor for her to drink.
Yes.
Can she keep that up?
No. So she'll either have to confess or fake her own death.
Fake her own death? That's intense. Like, they don't have, fake suicide
What,
pills
you've
back
never
then.
tried escaping from prison?
Have you? That's a great story.
I've just watched a
Kayla
lot of
at
crime
15.
shows. And that's one way of doing it. You have to, pretend like you're dead.
Fair enough.
They take you out, and then
we'll
you're
see
free.
what she does. Do you think she should confess? Well, if you were her, which way would you go? Would you fake her own death or would you confess?
I feel like she's going to find another way out. I don't think she's going to... I don't know how she's going to get out of this, but I don't think she's going to confess.
Fair enough. Okay, we'll see what happens there soon enough. It gets pretty ugly.
Oh.
Okay, going over to Bravos up here, where Arya is making some strides in her training to be a magical assassin lady.
Yes.
What did she do this episode? What's her agenda now?
So she has a cart, and she has oysters.
Oysters, clams, and cockles, right?
Or clams, yes.
No, that's oysters, clams, and cockles. She
Okay.
yells it out from the tallest tower. She's a saleswoman.
Yes, and so she's been told to go to this specific man
Yeah.
and sell clams. Or were they oysters?
I think they're oysters. That she sold to
Oysters.
him. Not terribly important. But.
And he says they're good, and she sells them to them, and she pours vinegar on them. And
Right.
then she goes back to
Jack and Hagar.
Jack and Hagar, and this is where I did not follow.
Okay.
So he wants her to kill the thin man.
That guy.
Is he the thin man?
He's a thin man, yeah. He's
But
the
he
dude.
he runs ships.
He's basically an insurance broker.
Okay.
So, his job is a sailor will come to him, because this is like back in the old-timey trade times. Like, I have an expedition I'm sailing spice around the Horn of Africa to somewhere. And just like you insure a house or a car, you have to insure a ship when
Okay.
it goes on a voyage.
Got it.
And someone wants him dead because apparently he insured a ship, the ship crashed, and he didn't pay to the sailor's family. So that's why someone wants him dead. And this is like Arya is the new person in a hospital, and they're giving her the easy job to do, like go
Kill someone?
and yes. Only this is not how, this is an assassin.
That's what they do in hospitals.
I was trying to get him. It didn't quite work. That was a bad metaphor. Point is, they're giving her first hit.
Someone needs a Band-Aid.
Yeah, that's an easy job for a new hospital staffer. That metaphor was dead before it began. Forget that metaphor.
Okay.
She's training to be an assassin, and they're giving her a hit. They're saying,
This
okay,
is
you
like
want to
testing
be
the
one of
waters.
us? Yeah,
Yes.
if you want to be one of us, here's what you can do. Here's a guide. This is what we do here. We kill people for money and profit and satisfaction. So kill this person. Are you comfortable with this? What should she do in this situation? She seemed pleased. She walked away and she smiled a bit.
I feel like she is smarter than she leads on. So I'm hoping that she's just working the system.
To what end?
I don't know.
Because, I mean, let's
Just
not forget,
she's
wants to kill
good
people.
at
She's
heart, though.
good. I mean,
I don't want her to be a killer.
No, I sympathize with that.
Maybe she's just learning these trades just in case.
The thing is, she is a killer, though, isn't she? Hasn't she killed quite a few people?
A little bit. She's always had an obsession with swords.
I mean, and remember that list of hers? She just lists the names over and over in her head.
But those people deserve it.
They deserve it. I mean, he's an insurance broker. They don't want him dead for nothing. He didn't pay out on an insurance contract. Maybe he doesn't deserve death.
That seems a little harsh.
It does seem a little harsh, but that's what they do at an assassin brokerage.
Okay,
and
well.
she can learn these skills and then use them later to actually kill the folk who she does want to kill.
So it's
Cersei,
just
the
practice.
Mountain. I think that's what she thinks she's doing. She's practicing.
Okay.
She's trying to build up her skill set. And the unfortunate fact is, this particular skill set is murder.
Yeah. Not the best skill set.
So I guess the final question here is, so do you root for her to succeed in a hit mission?
No.
Okay.
I don't think
enough.
innocent people should die.
No, okay, fair enough. I
still like her.
Because we're watching 2 episodes next week, I'm going to remind you of some little plot point you should keep in mind for next week.
Her
and
hidden
the
sword?
week
I haven't
after.
forgot about that.
No, hidden sword. It's fine. Yeah, that'll come back later. But do you remember a dude named Meryn Trant who was on the Kingsguard and he killed Arya's dancing sword master back in the first season? So that dude, Meryn Trant, is still around, and he was sent with Marjorie's father to Bravos a couple episodes back to go negotiate with the bank.
Yes.
So I'm just saying they're on their way.
Keep it up here. Got it.
Yes. And Arya's in Bravos, so you don't have to be a mathematician to, put those two things together.
Oh, snap.
Anyway, moving on. Winterfell, some more interstitial stuff. Mm-hmm. Theon betrayed Sansa last week. This week, she gets all up in his grill and confronts him. What does he reveal to her, and why is it important?
That Bronn and Rickon are still alive, and he didn't kill them like everyone thought.
That Bran and Rickon are still kicking.
Bran. They have too many names that sound similar.
I know. I mean, I totally sympathize.
Bran and Rickon. And so she has family out there that she thought were gone.
We're dead, yeah. Is it significant that he told her that at all? Because...
A little bit, because he has a little identity issue.
Yeah, his whole thing is that he's brainwashed and he's...
So she's kind of able to knock him out of it from time to time.
Yeah.
And I hope that they're kind of forming an alliance.
I mean, I guess they're like better allies to get. I mean, he did tell us something very important.
Yeah.
That's also important because the reason the Boltons can stay in power at Winterfell is because they think the other male Starks are dead.
Oh.
If they're out there,
then
that's a threat. Then they're the true rulers of the North. Yeah.
Okay.
And Sansa would have been a threat, but now she married Ramsay Bolton, so now she's the wife, not the ruler.
Got it.
Which is how it works. Sorry, back in the day.
No offense taken.
Yeah, well, I mean, just I'm sorry for medieval women who had to go through that.
It's kind of you, Dan.
Oh, you're welcome. So yeah, that's pretty important, and it's important that Theon is kind of cracking a bit. That Sansa is bringing that out of him. Mm-hmm. I think
bringing him back to his old self.
Probably because he's, feeling a little guilty about what he did to her family. I'm guessing.
You would think.
So he's overcompensating. And then the other little scene we got is Ramsay planning to attack Stannis, who is currently in his camp near Winterfell but snowed in.
Right.
Good idea? Bad idea?
I guess we'll find out.
We'll find out. Yeah,
I'm not really sure. Yeah, they didn't go into a ton of detail.
Now, before we get to Hardhome, we stopped off at Castle Black, where Sam is recovering from his beating / virginity taking sex with Gilly. And they have a brief little conversation with Ollie. Remember this kid? He's
Cute
the
little
kid
Ollie, yes.
Who's
the wildlings killed his family, and they took him.
He killed his family. He came to the Night's Watch. He killed Ygritte. Mm-hmm. And he says to Sam, Jon Snow is going north to
help the wildlings.
Why? Why? They're really awful people, and they killed my family. Does he have a point?
He does. And then Sam said, they're just people like us. Some are good, some are bad.
Which is true.
Yeah, right. But, I mean, they need them.
Can you see Ollie's point, though?
I can, yes. I would be upset, too.
Right.
Those are the people that took my family for no reason. We were just farmers.
Right.
Why is he going to help them?
And there are a lot of folk on the Night's Watch like that. And there are a lot of folk in the North like that.
Mm-hmm.
They're up here. The wildlings have always been coming over and fighting them, and they've always been fighting back and forth. There's a lot of prejudice against the wildlings, which is a problem. But Jon is forging ahead, trying to save them, bring them back into the fold.
So then they can all save themselves against the White Walkers.
Yeah, which is the bigger problem, as we saw this week.
Yep.
So he travels up to around here, north of the wall, a place called Hardhome, where there are a whole boatload of them waiting.
White Walkers or Wildlings?
Wildlings.
Wildlings,
I guess both,
yes.
but,
Right.
Wildlings at first. My first question for you here is, so Jon goes in, he tries to convince folk to come with him. How does he do as like a leader, orator, leader kind of guy?
They're not like super convinced, but I thought he did a good job. He's just trying to be straight with them.
Oh, no. Julie Davis says the hairs on the back of my head is sticking out. That's true, Julie.
Thanks, Julie. I have hair sticking up too.
No, your hair is perfect.
No. Right here, always. I would follow Jon Snow anywhere, so I don't have a problem with him.
Oh, yeah, I mean, because so that they all gathered in that hut, him and the wildling
And they said,
leaders.
"Why should we trust you? You're going to get us there and then turn your back on us." And
remember, there's hundreds of years of enmity between these groups, so they have reason to be afraid.
Yes.
But Jon Snow coaxes them out a little bit. I did think it was kind of dumb when they said, like, remember Mance Rayder, the guy who stands burned at the stake and Jon shot him in the heart with an arrow?
yeah,
That was like the big wildling leader.
right.
When they asked,
And he did him a favor.
He did him a favor, but the way he phrased it was, the guy was like, "What happened to Mance?" Jon was like, "I shot him in the heart."
He should have elaborated.
Yeah,
And
like,
so then
Jon,
the other guy had to step
provide
in.
some context.
The other guy had to step in and be like, "Whoa," he put him out of his misery.
He did, which he did.
Yeah.
But I feel like if he wasn't there, they would have just lynched
Right.
Jon right then and there. So maybe choose your words more carefully, Jon, is my advice to you, you fictional character who's already done this 2 years ago. But overall, it goes pretty well. And he does get folks on his side.
Mm-hmm.
They're willing to go with him, and they're starting to load into the boats when what happens?
The White Walkers
The White Walkers
come in full force.
By the way, do you know the difference between a White Walker and a White?
I guess not. Something about the eyes?
I mean, the White Walkers are the creepy,
Skeletons?
icy blue dudes who use what's on the horses. The Whites are the zombies.
Oh, I did not know that. I thought they were all White Walkers.
Yeah, okay, that works out. That's important. That's a pretty important distinction. Well, yeah, the White Walkers are the guys who are
The
so
leaders.
You recognize them, right? They're the
Yeah.
ones who are like giving all significant glances.
Yeah.
And the one Jon fought was a White Walker.
Okay,
They
yes.
all wear the armor and they have like the blue white skin and stuff.
And the dragon stone can only kill
White Walkers. Sam killed a White Walker with dragon glass a couple seasons
But now
back.
I'm confused because I feel like you can never kill them.
How do you mean?
At the very end, when he like does this and they all come back to life.
Now those were
Whites.
the corpses of the wildlings they just made.
Oh.
And the White Walkers can raise the dead as zombies that are called whites, which I will give you is a little confusing.
Okay.
It's spelled differently. It's spelled like Wight, to be fair.
Ah, thought you had a typo.
Did you really?
Yeah. It's like, oh, Dan misspelled a word.
I do not misspell words. No, so there's you got White Walkers on the one side who are controlling the whites, and then you have the whites who are just dead people.
Okay.
raised as
And then
zombies.
whoever they kill that are not those people, they come back as whites.
Yes. Which is why it's
That's
especially
scary.
bad here, because and it also kind of gives more reason behind what Jon's trying to do, because
It has a little bit of a Pirates of the Caribbean feel to it.
it totally does. Because the more people you leave north of the wall, the more whites the White Walkers are going to get.
So that's a problem.
So it's definitely good to get them south, so they don't turn into.
What
like,
stops
every
them?
What do you
What
mean?
stops them?
What stops who?
Well, you can't kill them because they just come back to life.
I mean, you can kill them. They've been killed before. The first season, Jon killed them with fire. That can happen.
Do they not like water?
They didn't seem to like water, did they? They weren't swimming.
No.
White Walkers and whites apparently don't swim. So keep that under your hat, I guess.
I noticed that.
Just go over to this continent. They're not going to be able to do that. What
True.
if they're all icy? What if they like stood near the shore for long enough and it just froze over and they just like walked across the ocean?
Oh.
I'm just spitballing. I have no idea if that can happen. What if they have White
Dan.
Walker boats? I don't know. The
I don't
point
know.
is, that's kind of how the cosmology of White Walkers works, that's like the rules.
Okay.
How did the action strike you? Was it a satisfying action scene?
It was. It was a little crazy.
It was pretty crazy. You can kill whites like the giant was stomping on them. left
Yeah.
and right.
Throwing them off them, stomping them.
You seem mildly annoyed.
The That thing is weird.
The giant?
It just like walks in the water to the boats.
Right?
Doesn't need a little ship.
The ship was like, they were all in it. He was like just up to his thighs at the same distance. It was kind of funny looking.
And the Dragonstone still works for White Walkers, though.
Yes.
Okay.
As does, we just found out this time, John killed a White
with a
Walker
sword.
with his sword, which is made of
Valyrian
steel. So at least there's two things.
And he was
to kill a
surprised
White
by
Walker.
that. He was like, whoa.
And the White Walker was surprised too.
Yeah.
It's like, the hell? But then it got through. So that's good. That's another weapon we have.
Okay.
You know, dragon glass, Valyrian steel, which is made by dragons. You wonder if dragons themselves would also work. But we won't
I'm
know
going to
that
guess yes.
until Daenerys gets them over here and helps. Oh, yeah. So, at a very intense action scene. Very
It's
nice.
like the last 20, 30 minutes.
Yeah, it was a good chunk of it. Any moments stood out to you? Or you not really like an action film person?
No, I do like it. It's just the whole like zombie thing kind of loses me.
I figured that might have.
If it's like real people, I'm into it. I mean, it was still very well done.
It was very well done.
But yeah, the whole like sci-fi aspect.
Fair enough. Well, where should I go from here? He's going to take the wildlings back to Castle Black. Are they going to be accepted? Is he going to be as successful a salesman with the Night's Watch as he was with the wildlings?
I think after what they just witnessed, that'll bring them together more.
a good
They
point.
know what's coming.
Oh, yeah.
They know how many people they lost, and that should be a wake-up call.
And we'll pick up with that stuff next week where we're watching 2 episodes. The Dance of Dragons and Mother's Mercy. The
Ooh.
penultimate and the finale of season 5.
Can't wait.
Any other questions or comments, Mark?
Did you comment on your hair, Dan?
Yes, I did. Sorry, Julie. I did not mean to cause anybody distress from my sticking up hair in the back. I tried to calm it down.
Did you acknowledge whether or not you took a nap? Did you take a nap before the show?
No. Who said that?
Carm's the only one who sleeps in this office. So.
Kenny Adamo says that.
Oh, because of my hair. I gotcha. No, I took a nap. I just don't comb my hair enough, Kenny and Julie. That's the only issue. Just need to take a comb and maybe get a shorter haircut for the summer. We'll see.
Well, I just think it's adorable that everyone is caring about you, Dan.
Me too. Thank you guys for taking.
Thanks for looking out.
Yeah, looking after my follicles. Anything else, Con? Anything else?
I think that's good.
Okay.
All
Well, you
right.
got